The views expressed in the following podcast were lightly considered for implementation in Russia before announcing our bid for President of the United States in 2016. They do not reflect the views of our employers, spouses, friends, colleagues, or our lawyers, who are actually very weak and just looking to cut a deal. Our business is just that, our business. And, well, light treason. Your mileage may vary. Welcome to Two and Change. The people are real, the drinking is real, and the opinions, unfortunately, are also real.
On today's show, we talk about why you're naming your children wrong.
Wait, you can't name your children wrong. Should it just be up to the parents?
But first, did we give away the farm when Trudeau signed the USMCA agreement without having the steel and aluminum tariffs drop first?
Hold on. I'm still stuck on this name thing.
It'll have to wait until after the break.
This is our new thing now. Quick, snappy, you know, like a skip, but not really.
I don't like this.
Too bad. Evening, this is Mike. I am drinking tonight a Liquorman's Old Dirty Canadian Whiskey.
Oh, so old, so dirty.
Yeah, Old Dirty Canadian Whiskey. We've actually reviewed it on the show before and gave it like a 0 out of 10. However, I've mixed...
I think I got a 1 or something.
It officially got a 4.
It was officially terrible stuff. However, I've mixed it with Coke and it makes it drinkable, and I'm actually not having a bad time with it.
Splenda helps too.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, this is Tim. I am drinking a Canadian Club 12 year with a bit of club soda, you know, just kicking it old school.
Absolutely.
It's what your dad drank. Damn right, it's what your dad drank. That's how the commercial.
And he was right.
Well, I'm keeping it classy / original. I'm drinking a Mill Street Organic Lager, and it is mediocre, but a good mediocre. So if you can't tell, that's sort of the concept of the show here. We sit around and we drink, we talk about stuff, yell at each other, usually coherent things, unless you're Mike or Tim are saying it, then it's incoherent. And
I like this guy already.
Yeah, so that's
it's going to be a fun
the
show.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. So I guess our first topic, Mike.
Tonight, our first topic, we're going to be talking about USMCA, which people are pronouncing as UMSA.
Is that like
wrong.
Space Force or something?
Space Force.
That's the Shores of Tripoli. That's the name of that song, right?
Let's call it what it is. NAFTA 2.0. Basically,
Yeah.
It's NAFTA with
Diet
tweaks.
NAFTA.
Yeah, Diet NAFTA. I like that. That's
1
what-
calorie, not NAFTA
Yeah.
enough.
We gave them 3% of our dairy market, and they kept these tariffs on aluminum and steel.
And we got Tab really cheap, but nobody wants
Yeah, so that's the big question. So by the time this airs, this agreement would have just been signed. So for all we know, the world's a nuclear hellfire because that's kind of the world we live in now.
Sure thing.
But Trudeau signed the agreement. Our
did.
prime minister signed the agreement.
He did.
Without getting the steel and aluminum tariffs lifted first. Now, he did make a show of it while he's up there. I mean, and to be fair, Mexico kind of fucked us into this deal.
Did they ever?
Yeah, but I mean, did Trudeau have a choice at this point? Did he do the right thing by signing it?
Choice?
They should have stuck. They should have held out with us.
Yeah, if Mexico held out with us, America would have caved. They would have.
Yeah,
But
eventually it would have caved.
But they didn't. I don't know why they didn't, but they decided to throw us under the bus, and that kind of put us into a bit of a tight spot.
Because now we're the holdouts at that point.
Yeah, the only holdouts. And they were going to make an agreement with just Mexico and the U.S., and they would have cut us out completely.
Now, keep this in mind. I'm pretty certain that Mexico doesn't have the Trans-Pacific deal. So that's probably some of their motivation.
Aren't they? They're technically a Pacific nation. Why wouldn't they be included in it?
I don't know. Because they're Mexico.
I don't know, because they're Mexico is sort of like a
Go home, Mexico. Nobody likes you. What?
Hey, I like them. And they're
decide if you want to be
Molly
North
sauce is
America
good.
or South America, Mexico.
Yeah,
all
come
right?
on.
They're friendly.
Central Mexico.
No, they're not. They are North America. They are the.
Yes, I know they are, but they're.
That's why they called it NAFTA, not as confusing as the current one is.
Yeah, U.S. So people are pronouncing it UMSCA. Can we talk about that? It's not UMSCA. UMSCA is
or
wrong.
maybe it's
USMCA. USMCA would actually make some sense. USMCA. Exactly. Yeah. So we're calling it the USMCA. I like the USMCA. It's fun to stay at the USMCA. All right.
Does anyone feel a kind of
Uniform code of military justice.
No, uniform code of market cooperation and action.
Agreement.
Yeah, services. Yeah.
And surfaces.
Uniform code of
surface-to-air
market
missiles
cooperation agreements.
Yeah, exactly.
Universal surface missile cooperation agriculture.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It's some one of those obscure government agencies. They have like 16 trillion of them down there. So
Part of the problem with this whole arrangement is that because the U.S. was willing to put their economic welfare on the Chinese credit card, that kind of fucked us into having to act. I mean, that's kind of the big thing. I mean, look at corporate earnings in the U.S. Or even Canadian businesses who do any work in the U.S.
Yeah,
like corporate earnings are like through the roof because of this tax thing they went through.
Yeah,
and it's not, and this doesn't translate to money in the economy. This translates to
CEO bonuses,
CEO bonuses, stock buyback, all these things.
But let's be real for a second. All of that leads to stronger corporations as well, which then leads to corporations that are more able to turn profit and pump that money back into the economy.
Except they're not pumping it back into the economy.
Tell that to Apple.
Well, hold up, man.
They're sitting on the cash and they're buying back their stock. That's what they're doing with it.
Which is actually helping with the other shareholders.
And if you pump more money into the economy, in theory, that's supposed to go towards things like jobs and tax revenue and things like that. The problem is that the U.S. is close to peak employment. It's pretty much to the point where I think it's like 3-4% unemployment rate, something ridiculously low.
Yeah, it's around 3. That's about as low as you're going to get.
It sounds like they need to loosen up their immigration laws so that more people can come in and work.
No, it's the exact opposite problem. They don't have enough. They've got more jobs than people at this point. Right. Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah,
okay. I catch your meaning.
Yeah, so they almost need to, I don't know, let the caravan in. They can take the jobs.
The inevitable change is supposed to be rising wages, which in theory works if they're not buying back their stocks and just increasing dividend yields instead. But wages will go up, which will cause inflationary pressure, which, of course, not necessarily the healthiest thing for an economy, because everyone thinks, oh, the stock market's doing great, or wages going up. No, from an economic standpoint, this isn't necessarily in a vacuum a good thing. You have to kind of wait and see.
Well, it depends on the context. It can be a good thing, and it depends on how these corporations play it. And there's a lot of different players in the economy. They got sectors in healthcare, they got sectors in tech, they got sectors in
And if the economy was doing this well and the government's books were in order, that's one thing. But this economic stimulus was paid for with $1 trillion Chinese dollars, basically.
Most of American debt is
American debt. Yes, that's
exactly,
true.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's got to be a peak somewhere.
Yeah, no, the American economy is a house of cards, but
most economies are though. And
did you see the new season?
This one's no, I haven't, but this one is particularly so, and we'll see it.
Well, I mean, the British Empire lasted at 125% GDP and survived. They were doing that right up to World War I, and they were okay.
Yeah.
But then again, they also had World War I interrupting it. So
yeah, what a rude interruption by World War I.
Oh shit, we got World War III coming, aren't we?
Don't worry,
I doubt it.
No, I don't. People are stupid. Anyone else thought it was kind of sad that this major North American trade agreement was signed in Argentina?
Hey, don't cry for me.
I will cry for you.
The truth is, I never left you.
Oh. Well, missed that memo.
Andrew Lloyd Webber jokes.
I was not
only the classiest references on this show.
I wasn't disappointed. I was confused by the fact that it was signed in Argentina.
Well, no, it's the G20 summit. It's a logical place where we're gonna have all three leaders there at the same time without having to make a special trip. They're just being economical.
It's a plane ride. Come on, get on Air Force One and fly to Ottawa or
major
whatever.
Major trade and economic announcements usually happen at these sort of summits. Yes. And there's historical precedent.
Yes,
for this.
but the NAFTA
of all the things that are happening around this that bugs me the least.
So what bugs you the most?
What bugs me the most is
the aluminum tariff.
Well, the steel and aluminum tariff for one, because we're in a situation right now where you just don't care.
I just don't care.
So part of the reason why I'm okay with it is because I still think that tariff is temporary. America does not sustain itself with its own aluminum and steel.
Yeah,
so
but,
the tariff
but they don't have
away.
to. Well, yeah, but the fire on your neighbor's house being on fire is also a temporary situation. That doesn't mean that your roof's not going to catch fire at some point.
I'll spray water on it.
There's only so much water you're going to get out of that hose.
Exactly.
Especially after two of us. And never mind.
Yeah. How many times are we going to make that joke, Tim?
As many times as it stops being funny to me.
Wow.
So never.
All right. So realistically, my opinion on all of this is I really don't give a fuck what we sign with the States and Mexico, because Mexico's
it's going to be toilet paper in 2 years.
Yeah,
how much damage is going to happen in 2 years?
Yeah, well, and that's part of it. And the other side of it is the American economy is going to the fucking tubes. There's
think so?
There's so many
they will
signs.
They will take us with them, though, and that's the problem.
And we need to stop and keep signing agreements with them and really focus on. And I can't believe I'm saying this. We need to focus on things like the TPP.
Well, and we are though.
We need to diversify our markets.
We do need to diversify our markets.
We have
but
CETA. We have we can get maybe another deal with a separate deal with the UK.
But you can't ignore the geographic significance of the United States. They're literally right there. We can send transport trucks to the United States.
We're not in the geographic world. We're not limited by geography anymore.
But when it comes to moving products and services, we are.
Compared to, it's easier to trade with the United States.
It is.
Than it is to trade. And here's the thing, 30 years of intertwining our economies cannot just be undone with a pen.
Yeah. Except our world is a knowledge and service economy. Those aren't hindered.
Yeah, those are not hindered by borders, but they're still, we're talking about things like steel and dairy products and grain and those sorts of things and oil, and those are things you can't
IT your way into building buildings and milking cows. I mean, there's only so much infrastructure, knowledge, et cetera, service economy. At the end of the day, you can't have an economy.
You can knowledge your way around those things.
You can, but you can't have an economy based off of selling hamburgers to each other. Somebody has to produce the beef. Somebody has to.
But why does
these jobs will always exist?
See, here's the reality, though. Here's where our markets are moving, and here's where the world is moving. We're rapidly coming to things where our meat is not produced on the back of a cow. Our meat is produced in a lab, which can be produced anywhere.
We are a decade away from that. Minimum.
We've been a decade away from that for like 20 years.
Yeah, well, I think that now we're realistically a decade away from it.
From producing viable meat, we can do that today. Producing it economically.
And to the point where more than 50% of our beef comes from a lab. We're a decade away, minimum.
I would say probably more.
Okay, yeah, but a decade is not that far in the world of global economics. And that if you need to set up your country, you really need to think at least 1 or 2 decades at bare minimum away.
But governments don't think that way. The governments think as far as the next election.
You still need the contractors to build the labs. You still need the roads to get there. So there's still a market for products, hewing wood and drawing water. I mean, there's always going to be that market.
And you hit on a good point. I mean, this is why China's going to become the next hegemonic power for sure, because they don't think here. They think 50, 60, 100 years, 200 years. All their plans are laid out like that.
Well, they have a cultural philosophy that says one generation plants the tree, the next generation rests in the shade.
Whereas our generation says next quarter the shareholders.
Where's my shade?
Our generation.
How much for your shade?
Yeah,
give me that shade.
Next quarter the shareholders need to report, and in 2 years we need to get reelected as president. That's how our governments today think. Over in the West.
Meanwhile, you have CEOs electing CEOs basically because we've allowed the CEOs to take control. Gee, CEO compensation's going up. Well, former CEOs are making up the boards.
Anne Rand must be just thrilled. Things are working out swell.
Hey, her work, her way, no other way.
Exactly.
Yeah. A little Fountainhead humor there for you.
Fountainhead.
Yes.
Can you get through any episode without making a dick joke?
I wasn't making a dick joke.
It was making an Anne Rand.
You are now.
You were making the dick joke.
Oh, okay.
What's on your mind?
My bad.
Dicks, obviously. Hey, did you guys see this?
Speaking of dicks.
Yeah, the president of, this is a weird loop, but the president of Grindr is getting in all sorts of trouble for saying that he prefers the marriage between a man and a woman as an institutional thing. And
the president of Grindr.
The president of Grindr.
The hell is a business person making a public statement like that for?
But Grindr, which is what makes it funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But
so he's like, but he says that's not a reflection of my opinion on gay marriage.
Well, Dolce, the owners
it kind of is,
right?
Well, Dolce and Gabbana got in trouble because the owners there, the two designers who are surprise, they're homosexual.
Well,
don't believe in gay adoption or in vitro fertilization for gay couples. Because they're like, okay, you should do it the natural way. And they got flamed for it.
What kind of Handmaid's Tale shit is that?
I don't know.
So hold on. You're saying the two gay people said that they didn't approve of gay adoption or gay...
Hey, look, there's also gay Republicans. I can't explain this shit.
This is something I'm going to read up on. I'm going to read up on this.
The gay Republicans?
No, not the... Well,
this was on an episode of John Oliver not too long ago.
Really? I'll have to look that up.
All right, so getting back to our topic here.
Umska.
Okay. All right, so we're approaching our break here. But Already, yeah. So, but before we go on break here, quick question for y'all.
Okay.
You all.
You all.
So...
Ewans.
USMCA. Is this good? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing that we renegotiated it? Or should we told Trump to go fuck himself and stall for 2 years and deal with another president?
I like the go fuck.
So I'm not convinced Trump will not be reelected. And,
Nor am I,
and I, because the Democrats can't get their shit together. However, I also think that this USMCA,
Hey, there was a blue wave.
it is not as good a deal as original NAFTA was. A bad deal is better than no deal.
So
and
so here's my opinion. It's actually totally opposite of that.
I'm listening.
So my opinion is no deal should have happened. We should have told Trump to go fuck himself. And yes, we would have had some serious economic repercussions from this, but it would have forced us to innovate. It would have forced us to diversify. And it's more, for me, it's peeling the Band-Aid off now and getting off the reliance of one single economy and having our success or our non-successes determined by that single economy, to do it now and then forever hold our peace.
And for me, I think I think NAFTA needed to be renegotiated. There's some legitimate issues in there that I think this whole Trump rebranding thing is pageantry. We actually got some good concessions on things like Mexican labor rates, for example.
Yeah.
There's a certain percentage, especially in the auto sector, which we heavily rely on, that will make...
Did.
Well,
Yeah. We used to. Ouch. Too soon, Josh. Too soon.
I want to see how this plays out. I do like the idea of the renegotiation, but I don't like it without a clause dropping the tariffs, especially for stupid shit. Anyway, we are coming up to our break here. Thank you so much for listening so far, and we'll see you in a bit. And a happy winter season to all our 2 and Change listeners. I hope you're continuing to check out Facebook for our live beer advent calendar updates.
And happy Festivus to everyone. Make sure you're checking out my updates and suggestions for books next year.
The hell is wrong with you people? What happened to Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. We are at war, Mike.
At war.
War.
I hope everyone is enjoying their Christmas and the show. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
And whatever else you celebrate. And welcome back from that break. Hey guys, guess what time it is?
It's weekly TF time.
Weekly what the f***? Sweet! Okay, and this week in What the F***, Mike, you start us off.
We've got terror from the skies. A woman was left with fear of owls after a religious grooming by a doctor, and she won a £12,000 payout in the lawsuit. Sally Brayshaw became terrified by the birds after going to a religious meeting where a preacher spoke of sacrificing one.
Sounds like all my words.
Really?
Sweetie.
Oh, really?
Well,
That's for the birds.
Are you fucking kidding me? So, Michigan University profs to fight off school shooters with hockey pucks. The Oakland University police chief said that a classroom full of puck-throwing students would be quite the distraction to a shooter.
Well, they're not wrong.
Yet they would be perfect for next season's Maple Leafs.
Slapshot anyone?
Hey.
All right. Al Roker, make room for AI Roker.
Oh, that's bad. Who wrote that?
I think you.
Oh, yeah.
AI News anchor makes its debut in China. This is my very first day at Xinhua News Agency, says the sharply dressed artificial intelligent news anchor. I look forward to bringing you the brand new news experiences.
Maybe we'll link on our website to what the actually sounded like saying that.
Yeah, I wonder when he starts for Fox News.
Exactly. Next we have It's Like Rain on Your Wedding Funeral Day. Funeral meal. At least 9 are dead and more than a dozen are hospitalized after eating contaminated food at a funeral in Peru on Monday after drinking a fermented corn drink.
That's called whiskey.
Well, I think Budweiser's interested.
They might be.
It can't be any worse than Bud Light.
Exactly.
The new Budweiser flavor, Bud Corn.
Yeah. Ugandan gin. Enough said.
Oh, that's probably what it was. All right. And we finally found the best dressed person in a Waffle House. So apparently in Alabama, police say that a man was not wearing pants when he fell through the roof of a Waffle House during a botched burglary and fought patrons before fleeing.
Of course, Alabama.
Yeah, well, we have to specify Alabama because this sounds more like a Florida man.
guy. Yeah.
That seems a whole new thing to chicken and waffles. All right, so is this a Genesis song? Girl called ABCDE, mocked by Southwestern Airlines staff. So Southwestern Airlines had apologized after a mother claimed its staff mocked her 5-year-old daughter called Activity over her name.
And that's it for the weekly What the But hey, I think we should talk more about this whole naming your child weird things.
How long are we?
No, we're good. We're moving on.
We're moving on.
We're moving on.
Moving on to the next thing. Yeah, that's right.
I'm keeping it.
Yeah, I'm going
keeping
with
it. I don't care.
I'm going with Absty. Apparently, that's how you pronounce ABCDE.
Absty.
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 It sounds like an incel.
Wait,
but
is the
Absty. It sounds like something that the high school teachers encouraged me to do.
Yep. Now here we go.
And
now
the only way to prevent
now we're-
STDs is to be absty.
Hold on, gentlemen.
and he was that way well into his 30s.
Gentlemen, now we're the
Somehow
ones
still
mocking.
ended up with
Why
3
are we
kids.
now mocking this 5-year-old girl? Come on. What?
That
We're
poor
not mocking
I'm not
her. We're mocking her parents'
I'm mocking
poor
her-
decisions.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's like there's all kinds of ways you can name your kids badly. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but there's a girl whose name was spelled HA-AH, and this woman got that's exactly what the school pronounced her name as, and mom got pissed because they didn't pronounce it the proper way. Hadasha.
Okay, you know what? If you name your kid something ridiculous, you don't get to cry foul when
If your kids
I can understand saying correcting somebody on the pronunciation. Okay, but if you're going, no, her name's Hadasha.
I'm sorry, if your name qualifies for a password for your office, it shouldn't be a name.
Yeah, Hadasha.
Yeah.
PEQ2246 exclamation point.
Exactly.
It's pronounced Portia.
Yeah. There is someone who legally changed his name to Smith, as in Smith with a question mark behind the H, and I didn't know that was legal. I thought you couldn't have special characters in your name, but apparently you can.
So instead of making fun of these clearly ridiculous names, and if you don't think they're ridiculous, well,
What's your name? Leave us a comment on our website.
so question.
Answer.
Chocolate
Some countries have a solution for this.
I've heard of this.
Yes,
They-
the final solution.
And you're questioning me.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yes. Okay. So the solution is that the name has to be approved by the government.
Right. For example, in Germany, you cannot name your child Adolf.
Yes, or in like the
Because
Netherlands.
of the final solution.
Because of the final solution.
Or okay, so there's a tie-in. Okay,
Yeah.
or like Iceland has a list of names, or the Netherlands has a list of names.
Right.
Or I think New Zealand had to do it because somebody actually named their kid like Channel 4 weatherforecast.com.
Yeah, which is
literally.
weird. Yeah.
I mean,
Why would you do that to your child? Like, what's wrong
honestly,
with you?
It's child abuse at that point. I think.
I
but-
would think so.
What do you nickname your kid though if that's their name?
C4.
Forcom.
C4 Forcom?
C4. I was going to go with
Like
C4.
4chan, but Forcom.
Oh, right.
C4.
I like C4 better. If someone's name is Channel 4, I'm calling them C4. Hey, C4, what's happening? Can't go through an airport with that nickname.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good topic though because the government's telling you what you can and can't name your kid, Mike.
Yeah. And
So-
I'm annoyed by that. However,
He's more annoyed by stupidity.
I'm
I'm not even going to say stupid
Yeah.
or stupidity. It's stupidity.
Let's put it this way. I am okay with someone having the legal right to name their child anything they want. I'm also okay with a human being have the legal right to change their name whenever they want.
Yeah, but if you name your kid something absolutely ridiculous,
Like channel4news.com.
yeah. So I mean, if you name your kid Tula Desahula from Hawaii, yet another name that came up.
That's a real name.
That's a real name.
Wow.
Moon
Yeah.
unit.
Yep.
Well, Zappa. Yeah, Frank Zappa named his kid like Moon Unit Dweezil, and
That's incredible.
yeah. Now, it's problem is that you can change the name. You can't undo 18 years of emotional abuse by that name.
You just come up with a pseudonym.
Yeah, the kid's not going to do that.
I've got
The kid's not gonna know any better.
I've got like 7 aliases that I go by, and like there's a whole group of
Mikey
people.
Mike and the Funky Bunch is not one of them.
No, not exactly.
I
No,
think-
That's
yeah.
that's his ska band name.
No, I've got like 7.
That's his
aliases.
Marky Mark ska
Like,
fusion cover band name.
When I was, and here's the thing. Even if you have the perfectly normal name, like my name, Mike Janssens. When I was in school, people called me Janssy Pants. People are going to come up with a weird nickname for you no matter what. And by the way, either of you two who call me Janssy Pants from now on gets a free kick in the face. Just saying.
I was Peaches until like ninth
Peaches?
grade.
How did that work?
I don't know.
Did you have peach fuzz?
I don't know. No.
Peaches.
Yeah, it was.
it's because they saw you coming from behind.
That was dark.
You got a nice ass. That's all I'm saying.
I have no butt. I have a trucker body, big gut, no butt. Like there's nothing. Like, I don't have an ass at all.
Mine is finely toned, thank you.
Face down, ass first, ass up. That's what the rappers say.
Yes, that's
Skeet.
But they
skeet.
don't usually say that about dudes.
All right.
Yeah, remember the homophobia in rap music in the 80s and 90s?
Oh, yeah, that happened.
2000s.
And 2010s.
Yet they wore their pants around their ankles walking around.
I'm not really sure how. Well, yeah, that still happens apparently. I was at where was I? I was at McDonald's somewhere, and some guy. I'm sure he had like. I'm sure his belt line was at his knees, and it didn't matter because he was wearing a shirt that was so long that you couldn't see anything anyway. But still,
I never understood.
How is
Those
that
are like
comfortable?
dresses.
How is that even comfortable?
Like your belt is around your knees. Like how are you walking?
Yeah, well, your belt's around your knees and your shirt is down to your knees. How is that comfortable?
I don't know. Well, it's fashion.
How is that gangster too? Like you get in a firefight, you're trying to run away, and you're like
Exactly.
sort of
waddling like a penguin. Right?
Oh,
pop, motherfucker. Like,
it's so
Exactly.
hardcore. You don't run away from a fight.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's how that works. Yeah, I don't run to
Take your
enemies.
stab 4 times. Yeah.
My enemy's all dead.
How are you supposed to do a drive-by if you can't even move your feet?
Exactly.
Pedals.
Yep. Bang, bang, bang.
They all. It's only automatic. They can't drive
They can't
standard.
drive
They can't
standard.
actually.
That's
move.
right. Yep.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Yep. Oh, I'm so happy to have my
So-
standard transmission back. I had to fix my car. It was in the shop for 2 days, and it was an automatic loaner car for 2 days.
So, should governments tell you what you can and can't name your kids,
Yes.
No.
No.
Mike says yes.
I have to allow for the stupidity of people, and the price you pay for freedom of speech is that you have to put up with a lot of rubbish. I'm
But
sorry.
what about the rights of the child?
The rights of the child is allowed to introduce himself as whatever the hell he wants. If Channel4News.com wants to be known to his classmates as Steve, he can call himself Steve to his classmates and ignore what his legal name is.
See, Mike secretly has the values of an early modern European. He doesn't believe in children's rights or that they're people yet.
Okay, well, what's your stance on it, Josh?
Yeah, no, the government can, I think within limits, say that you can't name your kid A, B, C, D, E, or Moon Unit, or La Module.
Hold on.
Or,
You can defend ABCDE, ABSD. It actually doesn't sound
Okay.
too bad when you roll it off the tongue.
Okay, so let's go this direction then, Mike. Let's go to the extreme because that's what we like to do.
Sure.
What if I want to call the kid rat fucker?
Yeah, like that's where I draw the line and stuff.
Should that be allowed? If I want to name my kid little rat fucker Forsythe, Adolph-Kisser Richard.
I feel like that would be inappropriate, but you are the parent.
Yeah, but again, you got to think of the child. I think the child
Okay,
has
but then
has
all right,
rights.
in
though.
your
So here's an example.
Like the
but
government
in your
says,
libertarian
like, children
world-
aren't
Actually,
property.
this is a question. In your libertarian world, how do you enforce children's rights?
What do you mean in the
They're
libertarian world at
property.
all?
They're his
They
children.
don't have rights.
They're my children. I brought you into this world, son. I'll
Yeah,
take
no,
you out. I tell you.
But if somebody has,
Your mother dropped you in the field for one purpose
if
only.
somebody's abusing their children,
Potatoes.
No. If somebody's abusing their children, how do you? If you have no government power, how do you enforce that?
So as a libertarian, I don't
free
believe
market.
I don't believe in no government power. I believe in governments regulating but not administrating. So the idea is
How
that
do you?
it means that I don't think
Terrans are the
Posse.
worst.
It means you gather a posse.
It means that I believe that government should have things like a police force and things like assault laws and things like, child abuse laws, but I don't believe that the government should administer something like OHIP, for example.
okay,
Because there's
so-
no way they can do it without wasting money.
But then how?
So wouldn't something like calling your child a rat fucker fall under child abuse?
I am okay with regulating names to a very limited degree. Something like Ratfucker Adolph-Kisser, I'm not okay with. But here's a thought for you. If someone wanted to name their kid Adolf, is that illegal in Canada? No. It's illegal in Germany. Is it illegal in Canada?
They have a specific connotation in Germany. It's in Canada, Adolf is a name. I don't have to like it, but I mean, at the same time, I would say that's more in poor taste. I'm in favor of the model of, I'm in favor of sort of a hybrid model that says that you can name your child whatever you want, but when that name goes to the birth certificate office, it either has to correspond to the list or you have to apply to have it added. And then it goes to child psychologists to determine if it's going to be.
I like the idea of just like for technical reasons saying that you can't have special characters in a name. So the idea of having.
I'm not a fan of that either.
Tell me more.
It's called a quote mark. You can sanitize your inputs. Bobby Tables is fiction.
Because there's a lot of names in there from other cultures and backgrounds and stuff. That
As far as I know.
Yeah, but there's no at symbol.
There's no at symbol. There's no quotation mark. Like other than
He's
the
talking
hyphen.
about that.
Other than the hyphen, I don't see any reason why.
Well, no quote mark.
What about Swahili?
Single quote. That's in there.
What
too.
about-
Well, that's an apostrophe. I'm okay with apostrophes.
The clicks in Swahili have a certain symbol too, and there's other languages that have symbols. So I'm not.
Well, they should become like the good. Like we should be the good colonials that we are, and make sure their language complies to ours.
So that's why I'm there. That's why.
Problem solved.
That's why I do have problems with name lists and stuff to some extent, because we do live in a very multicultural society.
We do.
And
I would make the standards extremely loose to
Like
to
I've
begin with.
never seen any culture with a need for an at symbol.
Yes,
Like
but-
I'm not talking about people who name their kids like some sort of sound they made up.
Yeah, but here's the problem: if you go to
That's fine.
if you go to your theory of going to psychologists, right?
or some sort of board.
Okay,
or something.
yes. So here's the problem, though, right? Remember that whole previous episode or a couple episodes ago where we were really, really angry and pissed that the doctors were for sterilization
Yep.
Native women? Imagine what a Native name would do in a certain board with certain people, right?
There's,
And again,
there's
I
a
think there
language in
needs to be
northern Manitoba. In northern Manitoba, there's a language called Oji Cree. It is spoken by 15,000 people on the planet, all of them in northern Manitoba.
And I agree that there have been some historical problems with this.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly speaking, in 2018, this is something we can probably get right, assuming that there was some good frickin' oversight on it to keep like. No, your name is Steve, but my name means, powerful bear warrior.
Tim.
Yeah, but your name is Steve.
Tim, here, I want you to meet somebody. It's called humanity. They all fucking suck.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
But here's the thing, right? You have to, if you're going to introduce regulation, I mean, if you want to keep people from naming their kid Rat Fucker Hitler Kisser, which is perfectly legal
Yeah.
today,
How do you do
you have to regulate it somewhere.
So here's the thing: as a descendant of super Dutch immigrants,
His
when
name is Jans.
Jans, right? As it turns out, my earliest known ancestor is a man named Rolf Jans, and his son Jans Rolf, and his son Rolf Jans, and that continued because they were very imaginative people until Napoleon finally invaded and said, "This is stupid. Pick a surname." So then they came up with Jans' son, and that's how Janssens came around, and that's the origin of my last
Real
name.
original.
Very very imaginative folk.
Like all the Yaumans that existed forever.
The coolest Dutch name I ever heard was Han, means rooster, and I have no idea why that was a thing. But what I can tell you is that when you have a name like that, even though it's in Dutch, it can be easily transliterated or translated into English. As far as I know, there are very few languages that you cannot transliterate into an English name.
You know what? I think we're going to have to kind of leave things off there because we are out of time.
Already.
Already.
Yay!
Yay! Meat on the bones. Anyway, listener, if you're listening to this topic and you're starting to twitch a bit, that's quite all right. Please drop a line on our website, toandchange.ca.
And please tell us what the weirdest name you've ever come up with or heard of is.
And if it's yours, hey, awesome. Anyway.
We love you anyway.
Anyway, also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and also keep listening to our show, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
Actually, Google Play dumped us. We're on Google Podcasts now, which is a different thing. You can run Google.
No,
Same thing.
it's still through Google
All
Play.
right, so a
Is
couple
it?
things
Yep.
to look out for is we're going to do some fun posts for some books for the countdown to next year, and
We are.
Tim's going to do his advent calendar for beer.
That's right. Anyway, for Two and Change, I'm Tim.
I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
We'll see you next time. Well, I mean, it's like, I guess kind of racist. I don't think it's really racist.
I want to go back to Hadassah. How do you spell Hadassah with a hyphen? Come on.
Hadasha.
Like-
H.
But she put a hyphen. H-A-hyphen-A-H? Seriously? Hadassah?
You lose your right to be indignant if you're going to do something really weird like that.
There you go.
And you can't get, well, it's not weird. It's what I want to do. It's like, that's fine. But you can go.
My wife and I came up with what we thought were
The views
It's expressed in the.
Oh, goddamn.
I knew that was coming too. There was going to be something.
The
The views expressed in the...
Fucking amateurs here. The
Views
views
expressed.
You don't have to edit this. I do.
He was supposed to do it with me at the same time. He missed his.
Oh, is
shit.
that what that was? Okay, my
He
bad.
can't read lips for shit.
One more. I'm just cutting the mic during this segment.
All right.